And it's Ken Kraetzer for CBSI Services at the DMA and Then Conference 2018 in Las Vegas. I have a chance to talk with our Master of Ceremonies, and that is Bonin Bough, entrepreneur, author, programmatic advertising expert, and a great person introducing our events today. Bonin, tell us, it was great seeing you this morning with the keynote with Bosma St. John. What was that like for you?
Cool, Bose. Well, I've known Bose for a long time. So we worked together when I was at PepsiCo. That's where I first met her. At PepsiCo, I ran digital globally, and she was on the North America Pepsi team. So I've known her for a long time. So I felt like I was able to ask her questions that we didn't have to spend time on the getting to know you. I got a chance to ask her questions that allowed her to really go deep on her experiences, having jumped around to a number of the biggest players in the planet.
Very good. Now, we were chatting last night after the International Echo Awards. You did a great job as the MC. And you're explaining a little bit about what you've done in programmatic advertising. Very impressive, the amount of media buying that you've done in the field. Tell us about why programmatic has grown so much.
So just for clarification, so I was Chief Media and E-commerce Officer for Mondelez International, largest snack food company in the world, $39 billion business, and I bought $3 billion of media across the globe. I was the seventh largest buyer in the world, and I also built the e-com business from 65 to 265 in the 18 months that I ran it. But I think programmatic, so look, I think anything that can be bought programmatically will be bought programmatically. I think one of the challenges today, though, so I think programmatic's important from that perspective, and the world is going to continue to go there across every single media channel. I think one of the challenges today for me is that programmatic has been used to squeeze media players to a point where it's very hard for them to monetize. And so we have to be careful as an industry to make sure that we don't put ourselves out of business by procuring ourselves out of business from pure price pressure and with an absence of a sense of quality. The direct guys are a little bit different because once something works, they'll pay anything. You just give me more. The register's never off. And I think that that's one of the things to look at, especially in the gaming industry. I think they've done a really good job. The other challenge I think we have to be careful of with programmatic is it hurting creativity? So are we just buying cheap placements, or are we still working with media partners to create the type of breakthrough communications that can only be done in partnership with a publisher versus just a pure ad?
Very good, and certainly the change that's been brought on by Google and Facebook and the like, and Twitter. Tell us about it. You're going to do a seminar on Tuesday afternoon here at the Then conference for the DMA. What are some of the key themes of your talk tomorrow?
It's called Hackonomy. You can find it online. It's called Hackonomy, and it's really about how do you create value by breaking things. How do you break yourself? How do you break your organization? But most of all, how do you break process? But most of all, how do you break your thinking? How do you unlock? And then I'll show examples of the work that I've been a part of or have led, the transformation of Oreo from, its campaign that hadn't changed in 60 years to the future of what it is today, or at least up until when I left. We'll show stuff about me dropping a guy out of the sky 25,000 feet with no parachute on, no wingsuit, and monetizing that, owning the IP. We'll talk about transformation and how do you drive that kind of change inside of organizations, and we'll show some of the best examples of work in the business.
And Bonin, you've had a terrific career, you're an author, entrepreneur. What have been some of the keys for you to be able to establish your career and advance to the level that you're at today?
It's really just about pushing yourself to think different and making sure that you elevate the people below you. So I read a quote for 99 on Harvard Business Review that said, "The mark of a great number one is where their number two goes to lead." And I've been very proud to have had people work for me that are now have some of the biggest roles in the world. And so I feel like if I can continue to do that and inspire people to be better then I've accomplished it.
That's great. We see that in people I work with in the military and also in sports. When staff is able to advance, it's a sign of a great leader. Bonin, great to see you, and we'll look forward to seeing your session and following your career. Hey, just tell us about, you mentioned you have an ebook out. How can people get that?
It's called Text Me, 646-759-1837. It's not just an ebook, it's a print book, so you can buy it on Amazon if you want to. For folks that are watching this show, if you do text it and put in code CBSI, then we'll give you a free copy of the ebook. How's that?
Hey, that's great, Bonin. Thank you. Great to meet you here. Did a great job with the events, and we'll look forward to following you down the line here at CBSI Services.
Thank you, guys.
A pleasure. This is Ken Kraetzer for CBSI Services in Las Vegas.